let's talk this process through. So for those that are watching, I built this jig to put these shutters together because there's 8 of them. I want them to be identical. I built the jig. That's some press board. It's pretty square. Used a number of items to make sure that it is square. Cut all my cedar pieces. And as you can see, I'm putting the frame together using pocket holes, but because cedar is so brittle, I'm doing it by hand, not a big deal. They're going pretty quick. I'm using titebond exterior glue to make sure that everything is held together. So the whole shutter will be 14 inches wide by 70 inches long. Once the frame is put together, we'll bring the slats in, and you won't see the slats, the back of the slats. You're going to see the front of the slats. So obviously you're not being able to see where I'm putting these in, but I'm just putting 2 in, 1 on each end, so that I don't need, there's not structural here. It's just holding them together so that the glue can bind. And I have found that this titebond glue has yet to fail me. I've got a sign here in the area that I did with exterior glue 3.5 years ago, and that sign today has weathered a number of storms, including the tornado here in March. So we have been successful with titebond. I will continue to use titebond glue. What you're going to see is once I get this one in, I'm just trying to make sure that they stay tight together height-wise so it doesn't throw off my shutter. We'll start with those pieces down there. After we put our glue on, we're going to glue the whole frame. So you're seeing assembly from end to end here. So these sides are 1.5 inches by 3/4. Of all cedar here, grown locally in Tennessee. It's all rough lumber that I brought through the planer and the joiner before it went to the table saw and the chop saw. So everything has been milled here in the shop. In the end, we had about 40 1x4 pieces of cedar that we milled to make this product work. Worked great. A few days work. Spread this glue nice and even. If I need a little bit more in a couple spots. I am not bashful with the glue, never have been. I'll clean it up later if anything oozes out, but certainly this glue is going to hold most of it together for me. And I'll show you what we do with the shutter slats here in a moment. Alright, so I'm using 16 gauge nails with my nailer to put these slats together. Don't rush it. And I'm trying to get, so if you notice, you see the white here. I want this red because this red is going to give me the resistance. And it's going to give me the best color once I stain this. So I'll put the white in the back. You won't ever see this. Okay. So secure this up corner to corner. Let's bring the next one in, and again I'm looking, I don't want that sapwood. I want as much red on the outside as I can. Put it nice and tight. And the reason that I'm doing one slat at a time is because I can make sure that my frame underneath is straight against my jig. And you do have to work it. Wood's wood, it's going to move. So I'm making sure I do them one at a time. I know that my slats underneath are nice and even. So now this one, I've got sapwood on both sides, but I want the most red. Don't kill that going in, just kind of tap it in. The frame hasn't got much movement at all, it's pretty close. So we'll just kind of work our way down here. So, if you watch this to the end, you're going to see that when I get down there, the fun part, well, I love my jig, keeps everything square, keeps everything straight. The fun part is getting it out of the jig. Stick around for that. That's always the fun part. But we figured out how to do it. These nails are set so they go just barely in, so they don't go through the wood on the other side. For those that are wondering, they see my Ridgid here in the film. I use both. I won this DeWalt probably 8 years ago in a giveaway on Instagram. Been working great. Why give it up? Now the Ridgid, the reason I use the Ridgid hand tools is because of the warranty. If I have a problem with those, I can take them back and get them fixed. And actually, I've got an 18 gauge nailer that I have had fixed under the warranty. So now look at this one. It's got a lot of sapwood on this side. We're going to use this right here, the heart of the wood right here on the outside. Get in there nice and tight. No reason to rush through these. So if you haven't built a jig before, they're well worth the time. I could probably have had these shutters together already, but I would have had a fight to make sure every one of them were square at exactly the same size. So when the customer put it up on top of on their walls and on their windows outside their house, that they all look identical. This way, they all look identical. Corners off just a little bit. See if we can move it. Maybe not. Nope, can't move it. So we'll leave it there. We won't worry about it. You won't see it. promised. Let's get this little devil out of here. So, it's tight in the jig. I've got all these boards that are holding that whole piece together. I have just enough room to come underneath and work it up. Just take your time and wiggle it, and up she will come. One 14 by 70 shutter, perfectly square, but we'll make sure of that. I go in my diagonal, absolutely dead on, exactly where I want it, and better than that. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Check out my feed, both here on YouTube and Instagram. Thank you very much.